Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode, this very first interview in our amazing Transformative Toastmasters episode. And as you all know, it's your host again, it's Dufe. I am here with an amazing guest today, and I can't wait to let you guys discover who is our first and most important guest. This guest is a very, very important guest. It's also a friend to me. And I had to interview him first in this podcast. I had to have him first in this podcast because he's so young and he has achieved so much at a very young age. And I want to be able to inspire you guys so that you can be able to listen from the other people. But first of all, let me talk to my fellow youths, right? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be interviewing somebody very interesting today, so stay tuned. However, I want to remind each and every one of us, as we know, we are in a beautiful, amazing space provided to us by Terrific Coffee. Terrific Coffee is found in Bastos. If you're a lover of amazing teas and coffees, Terrific Coffee is the place for you. So, without wasting any more time, I'm going to be introducing to you guys somebody very interesting. He's a leader, he's very dynamic, and he's amazing. However, I'm not going to be the one to throw all the information you need to know about him. He is going to be able to introduce himself in this episode. So, who do we have here?
Hello, my name is Bill AGHA. I'm the founder and president of the Tech Innovation Center, also known as the TIC Foundation, the TIC Foundation. I have a vision to inspire and empower the next generation of tech entrepreneurs and leaders. We believe that with more problem solvers, leveraging technology and entrepreneurship, we can uplift our country and the continent towards its economical development.
It's so nice to have you here, Bill. You cannot imagine how happy I am to welcome you on this podcast. So feel free and exchange, because the audience are people you've surely worked with, people who have been wondering what TIC is all about. Here is the brain behind the TIC Summit, and it's really interesting that you are a Toastmaster, and you have been a Toastmaster for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I always like to listen to your particular story when you talk about Toastmasters and how you became a Toastmaster. So I really wanted to share that story so that I will not be the only one who enjoys the story. This audience listening to us today is going to enjoy that story as well.
All right.
So when did you hear about Toastmasters? How did you become a Toastmasters? And from there, how did Toastmasters transform your life?
All right. Back in the university, I was passionate a lot about, problem solving. This led me into becoming a student leader. And as a student leader, I had to make a speech on the day they were inaugurating us, the day they were handing us the baton. While preparing my speech, I went on YouTube and I typed, how to prepare a speech, how to present, and I kept on following on several videos. And most of the time, the videos who had the best insights and the best lessons were Toastmasters videos. There will always be a Toastmaster logo somewhere or someone in the video talking about Toastmasters. At that moment, I didn't quite know what Toastmasters was. As I continued my research, I also fell on the World Champion of Public Speaking 2014, his video at the Public Speaking Championship, and the video really inspired me. And as I was watching the video, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, people can speak like this. And it really helped me to prepare my presentation that day. And I tell you, it was electric. From that presentation, I had a new name. They started calling me Chairman.
Okay. So that's where the Chairman title comes from.
Exactly. Wow. Because I created a party, because the way in worked at the university, we had to have two parties.
Yeah.
So I was the chairman of the party, but everybody knew that I was the president of the party, so they were calling me president. Now, on the day of the election, after I made my speech, I presented myself, and then I called someone to the stage who was supposed to be the president. And everybody was like, whoa, we thought you were the president. And then our party members answered that, no, he's the chairman. Yeah. So I created a whole new role in the bureau that even the school didn't know about. And from that day, many people started calling me chairman. Okay. And as things evolved, I continued my journey. By the time I graduated from university, I started a startup. And while we're preparing a meeting to go for a Saturday, one of our colleagues told me he would not be available that Saturday. And I was like, why? What are you doing? So he said he'd be attending a Toastmasters meeting.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. What Toastmasters are you talking about? So he showed me the logo. I was like, yeah, this is the Toastmasters I know. I said, when is the meeting? Is there Toastmasters in Cameroon? He's like, yeah, there's Toastmasters in Cameroon, and they're having a meeting tomorrow. And that was a Golden Toastmasters meeting. And then I was like, wait, guys, the meeting of tomorrow cancelled. I'm going to Toastmasters with our colleague. And that's how we all that day canceled that meeting. And that was my first day at the Toastmasters meeting. And it was fantastic.
Wow. And from there, you became a Toastmasters. Which year was that again?
That was August 2020.
August 2020.
Yes.
Meaning now it's 4 years?
4 years.
That you've been a Toastmaster.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's been 4 years that you've been a Toastmaster. And
Right.
these 4 years, you've done various roles, because in Toastmasters, we have different leadership roles. You start from maybe just a VPR, Vice President of Public Relations, or Vice President of Adhesion, and all that. You've worked from all those roles, and now you are the president of Golden Toastmasters Club.
Right.
Like the only Anglophone club in Yaoundé, you're the president of that club. How does it feel to be the president of Golden Toastmasters Club?
Yeah, it feels inspiring. It feels, I feel a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. I also feel challenged to be able to bring out the best of myself and to showcase that leader that's within me. Yeah, eventually I joined Toastmasters. I was a member. That was the first role I had. And as a member, I also took, these club meeting roles, like the time of the day. That was my best role to take. I always love being the timer. So I can tell people, hey, I have 1 minute left. I can on the red button. I love the timer role. Another role I loved was the table topics leader. I guess I love putting people on the spot and seeing what they can do.
King of improvised speeches.
Yeah, it was super amazing doing that. And I must say, Pocho Kwa is one of those who inspired me when I joined Toastmasters. Pocho Kwa and Stans Bell.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those are Toastmasters who have.
Yeah, those were Toastmasters of the Golden Toastmasters. They are those who set the foundation
Of Golden.
of Golden Toastmasters. I learned a lot from them, even Judith Kenya too. Stans Bell, because I'm good in improvisation today, is because of a tip Stan Bell shared with me. And that was the rule of three. That was the first time I heard about the rule of three.
Yeah.
Being able to break every speech into three, having 3 points, and always trying to coordinate things around three when you're speaking. And it really structured a lot of things I did after that.
Yeah.
And that was true to Toastmasters. So eventually my dedication in attending the meetings, obtaining the club roles, I was elected to the VPR, Public Relations, which I later on became the VPM, Vice President of Membership. And this year, I elected President of the Golden Toastmasters.
Wow, that's so inspiring. I personally am very happy, especially as your VPE, to work closely in collaboration with you, to see how we can go Golden and make Golden a really great club in this country.
Right.
And I'm very happy because we share the same vision when it comes to Golden Toastmasters Club. And trust me, it's really, really nice to see the way you work hard and all those efforts you put in. It's really inspiring. This shows that you're a leader not only at Golden, but that Toastmasters has just made you a leader indeed. And it's seen in other activities that you carry out, because apart from being the president of Golden Toastmasters Club, you're the president, you're not really president, but you're the leader at the TIC Foundation. And you're also leader in many other things, many other organizations, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
One thing about leadership is that you can't hide yourself, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, they are going to pinpoint that leader in you. They'll be like, this is the guy to do it. This is the guy to work at this project. And sometimes I try to be at the back, to be quiet and not to let myself known, but it always, I end up being picked to do leadership roles. At TIC Foundation, well, I'm the president of the TIC Foundation, and I'm also the executive director. There I have to put in place strategic actions, strategic visions, mentorship programs, and also coordinate fundraising efforts, manage teams, and make sure that we always meet our project goals and objectives. And in Open Dreams are an organization that does in education. I started there just as a volunteer, but before I know, I became a regional coordinator. I'm the coordinator for Open Dreams for the Center region. That is, I lead the hub in the Center region. And I have so many other roles, even in church. I can't hide in the in various youth meetings. I'm always called to do presentations. And currently, I lead the entrepreneurial wing of the youth church club. So there are so many other leadership roles I've held here and there, like being chairman of the Open Dreams 10th anniversary, an event that brought in people from over 5 nationalities. That was held in Yaoundé with more than 400 participants over 3 days. That was, I think, so far, this is the biggest milestone I've had in events organization, hosting that event. It was one of the most challenging. But I must say, the fact that at Toastmasters, every month we must hold 2 events.
Yes, 2 sessions.
Those sessions for me aren't just sessions. I see them also as programs. I see them as empowering programs. And for me, it is a learning journey. Each time we have to do one. Because each time we are practicing the fundamentals of the necessary skill sets that are needed to organize an event. And that's why at TIC, we also have all these events we do, these competitions. I literally just apply my concepts in Toastmasters. I just look at it. Number 1, we need an agenda.
Yeah.
Number 2, we need the speakers. Number 3, we need a hall. Number 4, we need to coordinate and make sure everything happens as the agenda was planned. All those I learned from Toastmasters. So Toastmasters for me has been a transformative journey. It has been an empowering one. I mean, every meeting for me is it's a new opportunity to meet our fellow colleagues, our fellow Toastmasters, to have fun, to learn, and also to challenge ourselves. Yeah.
Talking about challenging ourselves, you want to take big challenges. You were the representative of Golden Toastmasters at the area level when it comes to speech taking. Was evaluation, right?
Yes.
Speech evaluation.
Speech evaluation.
Yes. And you delivered an evaluation. I don't know if I'll have the chance, but if I have the chance, I can get some videos, if at all we have some more videos of that particular evaluation. I was the one who did the speech you evaluated, and the evaluation was so captivating that I don't know. Like, it was such an interesting evaluation. As a person who made the speech, I was just sitting there and I was like, I was just feeling myself like, that's such a nice evaluation, like positive evaluation.
Wow.
And it's really interesting and all of that.
The Toastmasters method.
Yes. How was it? Like, was it not a challenge for you? As president, you already have to host and you already have to do a whole lot of other things in various places. However, you still went in for this competition and won at the club level and represented the club at the area level. So how challenging is it for you? And how do you surpass these challenges?
You're right when you say, how do I go about managing this? Because in reality, I manage a lot of teams in various places to achieve various goals. And one thing I've discovered about it is that when you focus on the major vision, the big picture, sometimes the details might take care of themselves.
Okay.
So what I try to do is to work a lot with people and to kind of like give them ownership, to make them know that this task is yours. Own it, run with it, run as fast as you can. I'm here to cheer you up. And I just try to create an enabling environment where they can really run with their tasks and do what they are in their best position to do. And as far as the competition was concerned, my evaluation was really based on the Toastmasters method. Toastmasters has a very important and very insightful method of speech evaluation, the CRC.
Yeah.
Commend, recommend, commend. And this is a method I've been practicing during our weekly evaluation meetings at the TIC Foundation, where when we do retrospective meetings, I basically have it as a standard operating procedure for everyone to use the CRC method when giving feedbacks to teammates on how well their weekly progression was. And this has permitted me to be able to empower my teammates also to use this even when giving feedback to others. And this has overall enhanced our collaboration, enhanced our effectiveness. I must tell you, teamwork strives on collaboration, and collaboration strives on effective communication. And guess where we learn effective communication?
Toastmasters. Yeah. I'm so I don't know how to express how I feel right now. I'm really I relate a lot to everything you just shared, because even on a personal level, I don't know how my leadership would have been, and not only my leadership but my networking, because it's thanks to Toastmasters that I met you. I can never forget the first impression. You did a very good first impression with me at Toastmasters. You were dressed, you were very nice suit. I will never forget that day. I was like, this looks like a very wonderful person. I was like, I really want to network with this person.
Wow.
I swear, I'm so happy that now I'm networking with you and we are friends, your collaborators. It's so nice. It's so nice. And I'm so grateful to Toastmasters for that. And there's a whole lot of things I want to ask you again and again and again, because I really want to get all the juicy content out of your body. And especially when it concerns your experience with competitions in Toastmasters, okay? Because we have met in various competitions, like in Douala, when you went to compete last year. And I think you were also competing in the competitions there. What is the role of these competitions, right, when it comes to building leadership? Because is there like a particular competition that taught you a very important leadership lesson?
Right. So I've come to realize that leadership, 90% or 95% of it has to do with communication. And the more you're able to challenge yourself to be more effective in that communication, it increases your ability to lead. So these competitions have permitted me in two ways to develop my leadership potential. Number one, to be able to translate ideas into reality. Because I also believe that leadership is one's ability to translate ideas into reality by mobilizing efforts and resources towards attaining a particular goal. So when we have to go for these competitions, the first thing we set our goals. I want to be the first. I want to present a fantastic speech. I want to be able to wow the audience. And by the time we set these goals, the next thing we have to create a plan of action. You have to structure your speech. You have to do a draft. You have to refine it. And then you have to deliver it. For me, these are the various processes I also apply even in my leadership journey.
Yeah.
You have to set your goals. You have to create your plan of action, draft, refine, and you have to deliver on your results. So when I go in for these speeches, I see that's a full leadership journey. And I'm like, if this was a project that I was working on, would I be happy if I was not able to deliver on my results? Or would I be happy if my results didn't meet a certain expectation and my goals? So when I say this to myself, I get to work. And this permits me to work hard. But again, like in any journey, there are always going to be challenges, there are going to be roadblocks, there are going to be turns. And one thing I've learned from competitions is that you're not always going to win, but you always win if you learn the lessons of the competition. If you learn the lessons that posed as challenges, and if you also learn from your competitors. So each time I go for a competition, I will tell you I'm a winner, because I come back bigger, I come back better than I was before. Because I've learned from my own mistakes, I've learned from the others on what they did well and how they were able to outperform. And each time I come back so better, ready to win, because I always win.
You've said something that has just inspired me greatly right now. Like, I've never looked at it in this way. You explain how preparing for a competition and all the steps is like a leadership step. And I'm like, wow, Toastmasters is like leadership in practice.
Right.
Because you said you have to prepare, you have to set your goals.
Right.
If you're anywhere and you have to do anything. And this leadership is not just about people who are leading organizations, because you have people who think leadership is not for me, I'm not the leader of any organization or anything. It's even your life, you're the leader of your own life.
Right.
even in my life, I need to set my goals and be sure that this is what I'm targeting. And then I know this is the moves I have to take in order to achieve that target. Your competitors in a competition, maybe in a toastmasters quiz, in your life can be the difficulties or the challenges that are on your way that you have to combat in order to achieve your goal. And all of that, it really is really inspiring how you put it. You really put it in a very inspiring way. It's really educating me a lot. Thank you so much for that. And I'm hoping that it's also educating the audience about what leadership is and how transformative Toastmasters can be when it comes to their method and everything about Toastmasters can be when it comes to really transforming somebody's leadership. Thank you very much for sharing that. However, I will not let you go. Because when you were talking, you mentioned something that I really wanted to teach me and the audience, and it was the law of three. Was it the law of three?
The rule of three.
The rule of three.
Yeah.
So what's the rule of three and how does it help in impromptu speeches? Please, if you are watching without your book, take your book and take down notes. And please don't leave today without a lesson. You're about to learn the rule of three. Okay, the rule of three?
The rule of three.
Yes. So now let's go to it. What's the rule of three?
All right. So the rule of three states that many things in life, and even when it comes to communication, can be broken down into three fundamental parts.
Okay.
And somehow we're taught this in secondary school, but they didn't quite tell us that this is a rule of three, or there's a principle behind this. But actually, many things can be divided into three. I would take, for example, the basic essay structure: introduction, body, and conclusion. And if you also analyze the timeline, in time, we say past, present, and future. If you want to even look at the way in which many things in life are being described, they are also put into three. Even in the photography world, the way in which you have to frame a picture, you have to divide the screen into three parts, and the speaker is supposed to be somewhere. So there are several illustrations that I could go on and on to show how the rule of three is applied in so many industries, so many fields, and so many so many sectors of life. But I want to focus on communication. If we look at Julius Caesar's speech, and especially one of his greatest speech that is being recorded as the greatest speech he had made, Veni, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Those were the three major themes that surrounded his speech. And that speech that has inspired not just the people at his time, even people that came after. So a lot of great speeches throughout history have been studied, and they figured out that many of them had just three main themes or three main points. So when it comes to impromptu speaking, you having to be on the spot and talk about something that you weren't prepared to speak about, you might start by asking yourself, what are the three main points I would like to talk about? Or in terms of structure, you might say, okay, what would I like to say as an intro? What would I like to say in the body, where you could list your 3 points? And what would I like to say as a conclusion? This permits you to have a structure and to also have some semantics to your speech, to have some meaning and to create impact.
Wow, that's so interesting. From today henceforth, I really can make my speeches anyhow. I'll always consider the rule of three. And I think it also applies to like cause, effect, something like that.
Yeah, there's even when it comes to matter, the three states of, let's take for example, water.
Yeah.
What are the three states of water? They'll tell you that is solid, liquid, and gas. And those are also the three states of matter. You have matter in solid, matter in gaseous form, and matter in liquid form. So a lot of things really, if you take a close look at life, I kind of like structured in three ways. There are always three important parts to everything. So even when it comes to your speech, it's easy to remember your 3 points. It's easy to remember your three structure, intro, body, conclusion. It's easy to remember and it's easy to follow when you can break it down to 3 parts.
The most interesting one is this, the past, the present, and the future.
Right.
It's really interesting.
Right.
Before, I was like this. Today, I'm like this. Tomorrow, I will become like this.
Exactly.
It's a very nice way to do a speech and to structure a speech.
Even a nice way to think also.
Yes, a nice way to think. And be like, okay, today I'm like this. Yesterday, I wasn't like this. Yesterday, I was better than this. Today, I'm like this, but tomorrow, I'll be better and all of that. So it's really nice. It's so inspiring. I knew it, that you being in this podcast is the best thing that this podcast is going to get. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for not failing. Thank you for being so amazing. I don't know. I still want to bother you before letting you go.
All right.
I don't know. I just feel like we should just continue talking. I just feel
the conversation is very interesting.
And I don't know. I don't want to part from you. I know when we part from this podcast, we'll still be meeting later, but I really don't want to part from you in this scene. And I really want to say you're really inspiring, and thank you very much. Thank you for sharing everything you share. If there's one thing, for example, that you would like to look at the audience, okay, one lesson, I don't know, whatever that you want to teach, a particular thing. You should that we have already lived with a lot of lessons, but if there's any other particular thing that you want to add, what would that be? So that the audience can take as maybe home message.
Yeah. So if there was one lesson I could share as we conclude on this podcast from my experience that could be useful to the audience, I think is going to be this statement: everything lies, everything rises, and everything falls on leadership. No matter what you're doing, whether you are just a student, an entrepreneur, an employee, or a leader of a corporate organization, everything rises and falls and lies on leadership. So depending on how good and how great your leadership skills is going to impact the results you'll be able to get. And the single most important thing you need to improve on your leadership skills is going to be your communication. How well do you communicate to yourself? Because the first person to beat is yourself. And how well do you communicate to others? Because eventually, if you can communicate in a manner that is effective, a manner that is persuasive, in a manner that's also inspiring and motivational, you'll be able to achieve more, and you'll be able to mobilize the necessary resources needed to achieve your goals. So everything rises and falls on leadership. So improve your leadership capacity. Start today, start now. Join Toastmasters.
Join Toastmasters. That's the key word. Join Toastmasters. So all my English speaking Cameroonians there, join Golden Toastmasters. You'll be meeting us at every session. We are always there. We are always at the forefront of every single session. So if you like the way he talks, you like everything about him, if you want to meet him, join Golden Toastmasters, you meet him, you can talk with him on a personal level. He can impact your life on a personal level. He is also at the TIC Foundation, this Polytechnic.
Yeah, at Polytechnic.
Polytechnic. You have a Facebook and YouTube and all that?
TIC Foundation on all platforms.
Okay, so if you're interested in him, not as a Toastmaster, but maybe just as the founder of the TIC, and you want to be like, how did you go or whatever, you can meet him on these various platforms. We are going to add the links of his platforms, especially his your personal Facebook account.
Bill AGHA.
We are going to add it to the description, so you can be able to go to the description and find any kind of link you want in order to get to him. And I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for gracing this platform, this podcast, with your amazing presence, with your demeanor. It was so demure.
Thank you too. I enjoyed having this conversation with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're a great interviewer.
Really? Well, I need to add that on my CV, right? I'm a great interviewer. So thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you so much for taking out your time to learn from us. As you know, this is just the first person we're interviewing. He's already very interesting. So imagine how interesting the other people we're interviewing are going to be, right? So stay tuned and then continue to follow on the various episodes so you don't miss anything about how transformative Toastmasters can be. It is your podcast. It is your host, Ethel Lebufe, and I'm waiting for you in the next episode. Do not forget, share, like, subscribe, and make sure people have the message passed out across to everybody, okay? Thank you so much for following. See you in the next episode. Take care of yourselves.